Welcome to the Softball South Australia Premier League, played right here on beautiful Ghana land, and it is a special night tonight. The teams, Seacombe Tigers and Port Adelaide Magpies, going to look a little bit different tonight because it is Indigenous round. You're going to see both teams play in these beautifully designed jerseys, so I've got a couple people here to explain what it's all about. We're going to start with my left, with Charlize Callahan. Charlize, can you tell us about this Guernsey design that you're wearing tonight and on the weekend at Indigenous round?
Yes, so this design was designed by Atika Senison Bromley, and what she's done is shown that the two teams on either side and the meeting place with the Port Adelaide River, so that the two teams coming together to play at West Beach on Ghana land.
It's a beautiful design, and over here we have the designer from Seacombe, Michaela Pearson. Michaela, you actually designed this jersey yourself, and this is beautiful. This is a great unveiling of the jersey to start the broadcast. Can you tell us what your inspiration was and a little bit about this jersey?
So I really wanted to use the concept of storytelling to tell a story. So it's about coming together as one person, one community, as one whole. We've got certain elements that kind of swell in together to that family meeting place, and like the snake and the kangaroo representing how we are as athletes with strength, agility and resilience, and yeah.
Two beautiful jersey designs and a high-stakes softball game coming up right here to kick off Indigenous round right here on beautiful Ghana land. Let's throw it back to James Harris and Kylie Weatherston.
A genuine blockbuster on our hands tonight. The might of the Magpies and the tenacity of the Tigers go head-to-head. Grab a drink, grab a snack, and let's get into this massive game. Hello and welcome to round 19 of the Softball SA Premier League First Nations round we play on Ghana land, and is brought to you by the Bar Hotel. Tonight's matchup is Seacombe Tigers versus Port Adelaide Magpies. I'm James Harris, your host. And joining me tonight with the play-by-play, award-winning commentator, a Salsero, and an all-round nice guy, Eric Bolner. Hello, Eric.
Hello, thanks. That was a cool introduction.
And welcome, with all the special comments, is twice a Cathcart medalist and four-time premiership player, Kylie Weatherstone. Hello, Kylie.
Hello, thank you for being here.
Well, sitting first and third respectively, these two teams. Two of the league's toughest to battle and hold scoreless, with aggressive coaching, philosophies, hitting and base running. Also both pretty sound in defence. Head-to-head this season, Seacombe 2 wins and a loss. Leading Port Adelaide Magpies, Seacombe have won their last two encounters, 4-2 and 2-1, so not much separating these two teams.
And it sort of feels like we're still trying to figure out who Port Adelaide are, despite them, going to the last three grand finals, despite them being top of the table. Even just look at the results since Christmas. They've had big wins over Sturt, where they've scored 9 runs and 11 runs respectively. And then they get shut down by Seacombe 2-1 and then 1-0 to West Torrens. Then they go and beat Walkerville 4-1. And some amazing pitching from Taylor Cottle. So when Port Adelaide are on, they are probably the best in the competition. Their standings indicate that. But when their bats aren't flowing, they're beatable. It's a very close competition, and I think they're still trying to figure out their identity, I suppose, with Ben Lucas at the helm.
Absolutely. You look at Seacombe, and they just come out of, perhaps not nowhere. They've really battled the last couple of seasons, Kylie, and fought their way, earned their way into a top 3 position.
They have been building for this year, definitely. I think the inclusion of some star players such as Neely and Whitney have come in, and Reagan coming back again this year, definitely has improved the Seacombe ability to now, maybe challenge finals.
Well, we know that Diaz can do it all. She carries the weight of her teams, perhaps a little less this season than last, but she's got a partner in crime this year in Whitney Shepherd. She's probably gone under the radar a bit this season with all the attention on Taylor Cordell, with an ERA of 0.92 and 170-odd strikeouts. Well, Shepherd's ERA is 0.94, just 0.02 short of Cordell. Tigers definitely looking for Peterson and Havas to have a massive last month.
It's turned into a bit of a double threat, and Kylie, in Seacombe land right now, they must be so excited about the defense and pitching that they've got on hand right now. Just 7 runs allowed since Christmas, fielding at a .950 percentage and looking really good since Christmas. I mean, if you don't allow a lot of runs, pathway's a little bit easier to win some games.
Oh, absolutely. Takes so much pressure off. I think Bill Benedictson has really looked after both of the pitches really well. Whitney's also helped out in the B grade a lot for me, so she's got a lot on her plate, but she's doing an absolutely fantastic job, and I'm sure Reagan appreciates the help too. Allows her to get onto the diamond and have a bit of impact out there as well.
Port Adelaide and the Premier League are led by Golden and Marcelino. No questioning their star power. They're two of the most watchable players in the league. But add to that, Maslin continues to keep up with them statistically with her power hitting. Port Adelaide have a 1-2 punch in the circle this year with Engler and Geldof, both putting up solid numbers and handy in the batting order.
Kylie, how much of a difference, as you can see, the Tigers take the field here? You rattled off those amazing pitching numbers, James, as Diaz about to take the ball, but Neely Peterson really has been probably someone that has lowered the team ERA just from her catching perspective.
Oh, absolutely. She can throw rockets, and there's not too many players stealing on her, so she's definitely been a massive improvement helping in the side this year.
Over to the number one caller in the game, Eric Bono with the play-by-play.
This really is the big threat, isn't it? And it just starts right at the top of the lineup in Jess Golden. In many ways, she's sort of been the standard in terms of offensive production over the last 3 years. This year, no different. She is hitting close to 500. But if she gets on, she steals bases, James Harris.
She lifts the rest of the competition. Lifts the rest of the competition because they look at her and they see her and they want to be better. And the other leadoff hitters in the competition want to be as good as her. So they're taking a leaf out of her book. Diaz, another great leadoff in this competition. We're going to see two of the brightest stars in the comp tonight.
And she knocks one down the line, and had that stayed fair, you would have seen the wheels on display of Jess Golden. 16 stolen bases on the year. Port Adelaide have stolen 27. I'll have to do some research, James and Kylie. I can probably do it really quickly in this game. I bet you Jess Golden's 16 stolen bases is more than what some teams have as a total.
Yeah, such a threat.
Well, she knocks one to left field, but it's cutting awkwardly, and it drops in fair. And now you'll see the wheels of Jess Golden, who is hustling for three. The throw had to be good, or it could have been dangerous. And right on cue, Jess Golden cruises into third base, and that ball just had some cut on it.
It was like she was sitting on the rise ball. She smashed it to the fence.
She knew it was coming, absolutely. And just put the bat there, let the wind take the ball. Look how much far it's taking that ball. A couple of bounces, it's nearly at the fence there. Good running from Jess too. Powering away there to third base, gets there easily.
This is a Port Adelaide team that's sitting top of the standings right now in the Premier League. They've been to the last 3 championship games, winning one of them. Trying to assert an era of dominance. Kate Geldof, the Belgian international, fouls one away. She's got some wheels too. Bat probably hasn't clicked the way you'd like, but you know she's got the potential to really go on a heater late.
Yeah, a couple of her hits being extra base hits as well. She's pretty good for the 2 spot for Port Adelaide. Just on Port Adelaide since Christmas, 25 runs for and 8 against. When they lose, they only lose by a run.
And a nice frame there from Neely Peterson, and Regan Diaz has her first strikeout.
Yeah, good pitch there. Hit the edge really well. Neely's there, framed it as she can there, and got an easy call out for a strike 3.
Sporties Bar replay. Let's have a look at the outside edge. That's there.
Yeah, good frame there from Neely.
Like the fist pump after the... Well, we've got an elite pitcher and an elite catcher in the broadcast booth tonight, and that has really been the combination of the Tigers this year that has got them into a finals position. As Brie Marcelino, she leads the competition in average and RBIs. That ball slips away, and it's going to cost them a run. Sliding in easily is Jess Golden, and the Magpies strike first on First Nations round. It's 1-0 Port.
Yeah, you can see Diaz just being a little extra cautious on Marcelino, and it gets away from Peterson.
It's just the pressure of her, her ability to be able to hit the ball. You do not want to throw anywhere near the strike zone because you know it's going to go. So just trying to hit the edges there, and Reagan just put a bit too much on that one.
Brie Marcelino in a second season in South Australia, hitting .535 this year.
You said that she leads the league in hits, right? Leads the league in extra base hits as well. RBIs.
22.
And hits with runners in scoring position. That threat's now gone. Now the run scored.
I'm glad I don't pitch A grade anymore. And they're amazing stats, aren't they?
Yeah, she's putting together an all-time season, Marcelino, and it's just been so consistent from day dot. She probably went 1 for 2 in her first game, and the average only went up from there.
Yeah, pressure on Reagan right now, full count.
You can look at any of the stats, and they're impressive. 7 stolen bases as well.
Drives one over towards right field, and that falls in the glove of Brie Linton. Well, those stolen base numbers probably would have been increased if she didn't have so many extra base hits. It's a little harder to steal some bags because, I mean, how many singles does she have? She got 7 stolen. So she's got 10 singles, and she's stolen 7 bags. It's a pretty good single to stolen base ratio. I know walks would come into that too.
She's got more extra base hits than she's got singles.
That's an outrageous stat. This is Jess Maslin. Haven't gone around the field yet, by the way. It's Bianca Passion left field, Hannah Cameron at center, Brie Lint at right field. Shepard at third, Mutsit at short, Tompkinson at second, Becky Havis at first, and Neely Peterson is catching. This crank towards the left side. That's going to go foul. It could be playable. Well, Jess Maslin hitting .396 this year. And I mean, she's hitting .396 with a homer and 20 RBIs, and it's the third most impressive statistical season in this lineup.
Yeah.
And that would be, what, the third most impressive statistical season in the league, thereabouts, it would feel like. I mean,
well, she's in the top 6 or 7 in the league.
In terms of prowess, yeah. But she's third on her team. There is some bite to this Port Adelaide lineup. Pitching and defense, though, is usually the equation that wins premierships, and you're seeing Wes Torrens really pick up this steam. Probably no coincidence it's at the same time that Steph Trzynski has entered the chat back in the circle. But Port Adelaide have had some good pitching performances as of late, too. Liz Angler, I think she had the one hitter the other week as well.
So good to see the standard of the pitching over the whole competition, how it is. It's absolutely great to see.
Every team has someone that can cause a bit of damage. This pitch on the outside, and Maslin has turned this into a lengthy at-bat. Where are you trying to avoid pitching with Jess Maslin? What do you think her wheelhouse is?
Anything in the power zone.
Well, I've seen the top 3 of the top 4 hitters chasing the rise ball. It's like they're sitting on it tonight, all with pretty deep hits.
That's a walk for Maslin.
It's interesting they're going, like Reagan is pitching up high, especially with this wind. 2 balls that have been hit out to left field there. The wind has taken them both and given them a little bit more extra. So be interesting if they change tack and start throwing the low balls, try and get some ground balls going.
Yeah, perhaps down and change rather than up and away.
Yeah.
Knocked towards the second base side. Tompkinson will lob over to first, and that will end the threat. But Port Adelaide benefit from a leadoff triple from Jess Golden. She scores on a pass ball, and it's a early 1-0 lead as we turn over the lineup card, and we'll get a quick look defensively of Port Adelaide as Charlize Callahan will run out to third, Brie Marcelino at short, Montana Edwards at second, Jess Maslin at first. Jess Golden is catching. We'll get to the pitcher in a moment. Thompson at left, Geldof at center field, and Jess Neves rounds out the diamond at right. The pitcher, Liz Angler, really has started to turn it up ever since that Christmas break, and some wins have followed, and we know how much of a force she can be for Port Adelaide.
Yeah, absolutely. And the whole field lifts when Liz is doing well as well. So it'll be interesting to see how she goes tonight.
She threw majority of the innings last year. I think it was all but a handful of innings for Port Adelaide. This year, she shared the load a little bit. She's missed a couple of games as well due to some unavailability, and that's just credit to the depth of this Magpies lineup. But when you can just wheel her out and start to crank her up for finals, you know you're in good shape for the finals. Eric, in the First Nations round, there'll be more information to come on that as the night goes on, and this weekend's games. Port Adelaide will have the TV game against Hills Heat. There's another game being played tonight at the start of round 19. It's Glenelg Rebels versus Sturt Falcons. There's, potentially finals hopes still for those two teams. It's 1-0 in the top of the third.
Well, there is finals implications, especially for the team that loses that game, because if Seacombe win, the loser of this Sturt and Glenelg game cannot catch the Seacombe Tigers. It's as simple as that, and that is one less team that two teams out of the finals can look at to try to get in. Liz Engler, first pitch upstairs against Regan Diaz, who leads all Seacombe players in hitting. She's got a 408 mark this year.
Yeah, electrifying up the top of the order. And she's also dangerous around the bases as well. She's got that aggressive heads up. You take a throw, I'm going to take you on. If you look for another base or throw to a cutoff, I'm going to take you on.
You want me to play third? I'll play third. Center? I'll play center. Left? Sure. Pitch? Why not? First base? Yeah, if required. She'll do anything.
Also put down a running bunt or put one over the fence. So same as Jess, she's able to do all that, which is why both of them are great lead-off batters.
Yeah, very coachable player, you feel like. And she cracks one towards left field, but it's on a line to Thompson. Zoe Thompson brings it in. And there is one down. And it's the most dangerous bat in the lineup retired, too.
Probably hit it too well, to be honest. Didn't let the wind do anything for it. Bit of a line drive there.
That's a great catch from Zoe Thompson on the Sporties Bar replay. As a hitter, you're going back to the dugout now and you're thinking, bloody hell, I could not have hit that any better.
Yeah, exactly.
Sasha Mitzi hitting 182 on the year. Seacombe as a team are only hitting a .184 this season. It's been a great story for a Tigers side that haven't made the finals in a number of years. They didn't have a Premier League team a few years ago. They've been sort of near the bottom, and now they're flirting with a top 2 spot in that qualification final. But that has been probably that one aspect that they would, I'm sure, admittedly say, yeah, we'd like to hit a little stronger and more consistently.
It's definitely a focus at training. They do spend a lot of time on it. But, as we said, the quality of the pitching and the whole competition does make it a little harder. So the field is obviously standing up really well, and that's why in the position that they're in.
Pitching is there, defense is there. Mitzi swings through a pitch. It's a strikeout for Liz Engler. 2 up, 2 down.
Yeah, just all-out attack there on Mutzi, and she's going down swinging. Here's a look at the Sporties Bar replay.
Neely Peterson shown some pop this year. She's hit a couple home runs. You just sort of feel like if there's a key to this Seacombe offense, it's Neely Peterson getting hot late in the year. Hitting 206 on the year, but this is a player that played NCAA Division I, was the ASA catcher of the year in the conference while playing for Florida Gulf Coast University. Fire to be had, you'd think, somewhere in the bat of Neely Peterson. I know in that playoff run a couple years ago in college, she was just clutch as clutch can be, guiding them to the championship.
It's also a really important player this year at the Gillies, the South for the Stars.
Yeah, there's some championship pedigree already embedded in this Tigers lineup.
Yeah, Reagan and Neely both represented South Australia.
that Stars team just found ways to win when it mattered, didn't they?
It was awesome to see.
Didn't always have to be conventional. They just had to score one more run than their opponent in succession.
We got good news travels around, and we got a letter from the governor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Her Excellency. We shared that with the team. Well, I said it to their team manager. I'm hoping she shared it with the team. Sports Minister knew about it as well. So it was, it's been great to go to a couple of functions of late, including the South Australian Sport Hall of Fame dinner on Friday night to see Nancy Whittingham's induction, and to get a little bit of attention was very nice.
You think the profile is raising a little bit. Nice to have a couple championships in the last 3 years now. And a swing and a miss from Liz Engler on Neely Peterson. A lengthy at bat, but she gets 2 strikeouts. It's 3 up, 3 down. Port Adelaide have a 1-0 lead after 1. Take a look at the replay. Kylie?
Yeah, good corner pitch there. Nearly was not expecting it, probably on the outside. Didn't quite get her hands out there to it. Good pitch by Liz.
Eric, you've got some information for us in regards to this week's First Nations round.
Yeah, this is the sort of the curtain raiser, you could call it, but it's the Magpies Club Day and the First Nations round, and they've got some amazingly designed tops by a local artist. We'll read more about that as the broadcast goes on, what it's all about. But come down 3 p.m. They're playing Hills. This will be the broadcast game, and Port Adelaide are also running the barbecued and a baked goods stall as well. So that will certainly be something you won't want to miss right here on beautiful Ghana land. And yeah, there'll be an acknowledgement of country. I think they're doing some giveaways. They're giving away a painted softball from artist Timana Sanderson Bromley, who is Ithaca's brother, and she designed those jerseys that they're wearing from Malta Weary Weary Art Collective. So a couple cool little things happening around on First Nations round, and a great initiative from Port Adelaide. I love the month of February in the softball community. There's a lot of community spirit across the board ramping up towards the finals campaign. So this Saturday should be a fun one. So
yeah, come down and watch. There's plenty of action. Walkerville Cats play Glenelg Rebels, Seacombe Tigers and Sturt, and of course the Special Sports live stream game at 3 p.m. Hills Heat versus Port Adelaide Magpies. Huge round of games.
If you're the Seacombe Tigers, in that knowing that they play Sturt on the weekend, Montana Edwards leads things off. You would be tonight then a fan of Sturt. You'd want Sturt to beat Glenelg on the backfield, have Glenelg get that loss handed to them, because all that means is this game, I mean, it matters because you're going for a top 2 spot, but if you beat Sturt on the weekend, you're in the finals, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. Could be 4 days away from saying a sentence we haven't said in about a decade. Yeah. Seacombe are going to the finals.
Well, there's a lot of softball still to be played to be able to say that sentence, so we'll just keep it in the bag at the moment. Yeah. We'll let that out once it happens.
Don't count the chickens is what you're saying.
Exactly right.
Just checking up the line. If it's a swing, the call was no. That's Toby Sadler on first, Nikki Wong umpiring on third, and behind the plate, Hall of Famer Damien McCauley.
I do like how tight the competition is, as Edwards just catches that edge of the plate. You've got literally a whole page to the right of me that is just like a board of equations of things. There's so many moving parts as we've entered the final 5 games each of the season. There's a lot to digest.
Yeah, wanted to come prepared tonight. Games left this season, finals equations, tonight's impact on the top 4, and the way that the teams have gone this Christmas, since Christmas, it is still 1 through 6 on the ladder can make finals.
It is incredible, but only a couple teams control their destiny right now.
6 teams still in contention, 1 team left playing for pride. 1 team has secured a spot, that's Port Adelaide. Although with Walkerville's superior runs against, it would take the worst disaster in sports history for them to miss out from here, which would be losing the last 4 by 20 runs a game. You know, that's not going to happen.
You would think not, no. But yeah, it's nice to be able to have the control of your own destiny in this situation here.
Look at the strikeout pitch from Regan Diaz. Just sort of buckled Montana Edwards to get her second strikeout of the night.
Yeah, inside high, a good pitch from Regan.
Further on to those mathematical chances, you know, you never really want to be that team in that situation. 2 teams clinging on to their chances. Glenelg and Sturt, they're playing each other tonight, which is, you know, it's going to be winner, you know, stays alive, but both needing almost to go undefeated from here and other results to go their way. And for Seacombe West Torrens, believe it or not, both of them can finish in the top 2 and even miss out completely.
But this is how much it swings, because if Sturt win tonight and Seacombe lose tonight, and then Sturt beat Seacombe on Saturday, then Sturt are 1 point behind Seacombe all of a sudden.
Yep.
But if Seacombe win tonight and Sturt lose tonight, then Sturt can't catch them.
Yeah.
Did you get that?
Crazy, right? It blows your mind.
And if a chicken climbs the roof of the grandstands behind us and lays an egg after 3:30 p.m. on a Sunday, then I don't know what happens. But that's kind of what we're dealing with mathematically right now.
Yeah, timeout being called by Peterson. Just wants to have a chat with the pitcher, Diaz. Yeah, but from there as well, you can see Engler and Coach Lucas there on screen. Port Adelaide win tonight. They solidify their premiership favourite status, keep the all other top 4 or next 5 teams in contention for those final 3 places, because Walkerville, although they look dominant on paper, and I'm been a big fan of them this year, since Christmas, they are 2 wins, 3 losses. Shutout wins against Hills and Sturt, but shutout losses to West Torrens and Seacombe, as well as a 1-4 loss to Port Adelaide. So, you know, they're in. They're in, but they'd want to start playing.
Angler to right field, and it's an opposite field knock and another base runner for Port Adelaide.
Nice piece of the ball there. Kept it low. There's no way Bree was going to get to that one.
Stayed with it.
Yep, Sporties Bar replay, and you see Bree Lynch. She's only played 7 games in the field this year, mostly had a role as DP, so she's been thrown around a little bit tonight out of right field.
Yeah, she did play outfield in her college days, so she's not. She can play that position, but yeah, hopefully her injuries is now all good, and she's able to stay back on the field.
When she's healthy, she can fly as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again, if Zoe Thompson heats up, this is a pretty dangerous bat in the 8-hole. Only hitting 163 on the year. Swings through a pitch. Big cut against Regan Diaz. Diaz on the year has pitched 51 2/3 innings. Shepherd 47. The 1-2 punch, which I'm sure we'll see tonight.
Yeah, and the fact that they also have the ability to play other positions. So obviously Whitney's playing third base tonight. Reagan, as we said before, can play anywhere. So it does give the team a lot more flexibility to have them both out there.
I just noted Mutzi's a step up the middle here, leaving that gap open in the 5-6 hole for this threatening left-hander who can lay down that running bunt, that running slap. That's the target for any lefty that's on the move. And she's widened that gap.
Yes, nice big gap there. Head for the Dental for School sign.
Diaz just battling in and around the zone sort of all night so far. I know we're only in the second inning. just down low.
Wow.
DS wanted it. It was one of those tight calls, wasn't it?
Very tight. Interesting to see on the replay what that one looked like, because it looked very close.
It's a great at-bat as well. She went deep in the count. Here's the Sporties Bar replay. But with that walk, just at the bottom of the zone, maybe just under ball, underneath the zone, we'll probably see Golden come to the plate.
Great point. That's a storm coming in the forecast. You can see a little fist pump there from Neely Peterson on that pitch from Regan Diaz. I think they connected the way they wanted.
Yeah, it did look quite a good pitch.
Whoa,
Do you
foul ball down to the covers, and the covers into the gully where we are situated.
You see that quite a bit from Peterson. Little fist pumps, little nods, little bit of animation. Do you like that as a pitcher when you have a catcher with that kind of energy, or did you like yours maybe a bit more stoic and calm?
No, I love it. I think it's absolutely great. Shows she's really into it and really wants you to do well.
What I think it is that there's a plan, and you know, as the Colonel once said, it's great when a plan comes together. Love it when a plan comes together. But Peterson, with that fist pump of the first strikeout of the night, you can tell there was a plan.
Ground ball over to the second base side. Tompkinson bobbles it a little bit, but she stays with it. Oh, Seacombe of old probably would have seen a couple base runners, but that was a feisty effort from the tenacious Tiger.
Yeah, Georgia did well there. Kept her cool. Picked it up, underarmed it just in time, and Beck took the ball well there at first.
Very impressive. Let's have another look on the Sporties replay. She was maybe been a little distracted by the fielder, but she's shown some maturity there at second base to her time. Lee Hull would have said by now, put the force on with 2 out, and the threat of Golden is on first with 2 runs ahead of her.
Yeah, you have Jess Golden, who's hitting .480 this year, 16 stolen bases. Even a ground ball might mean she gets on base. Geldof, a very talented player, but she's hitting only a .184 this year. That's the one that you'd want to flirt with right now,
Yep.
I think, if you're the pitcher.
Yep. Early in the game, you don't want to lose it now.
Now she cracks one up the middle, and very fortuitously for the Seacombe Tigers, it was a line drive to Hannah Cameron. Oh, a couple feet to the left, and that's a lot of runs. Jess Golden still running right now.
Got out of a jam. Sporties Bar replay. Have a look. She's sat on that rise ball again, and like you said, Eric, hit a line drive. Cameron, one step one way, then one step the other, adjusts and takes a good catch, Kylie.
Interesting that they didn't actually intentionally walk her and create the force home there with 2 out. And so you wouldn't have to face Jess. But they challenged it and got the out. So
all on the same
what do
page
we know,
by
I
the
guess.
same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Just an update in the backfield. It is still 1-0. It's the bottom of the 4th. Emily Price has been given up 4 hits, 5 strikeouts, no runs, but Olivia Durham, the youngster from Sturt, 4 innings, pitched 4 hits with 3 walks. I think that may have been one of the reasons for the run, but also thrown 5 strikeouts. So pitches duel happening over on the backfield.
Yeah, 2 teams fighting for their finals lives. Probably a game that both teams probably need to win out to have a chance at finals. And only one team can win today, or no team could win, theoretically.
I've just had word from Kathy Pash that the last time Seacombe played in the finals was 2013 when they won.
So
and before that was 1975.
Before that. So they've
Yeah.
had 1 final series since 1975?
And they won it.
And they won it.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That is 40 years, 50 years. They've been in 1 final series in 50 years?
I reckon we'll have to check that.
That
but,
can't-
Yeah, I think it's not
because
gonna be
Maybe the last
Strapp-
premiership.
Rebecca Strapps
That's who I was
was the
thinking.
star of the competition.
Absolutely. That's
Maybe
who
the
I was
last
Hall of
thinking.
Famer.
premiership was 1975?
Could be. Yes, that could
That
be.
would
what
be-
you mean.
that
So
would
when
make
we
sense.
say final series, we're talking the top 4.
Yeah.
Yeah,
playing in the semi-final, right?
playing in a semifinal,
Yeah.
making the playoffs.
I have a...
I think 2013 definitely has to be right, because I don't think I've ever seen Seacombe play
Yeah.
a finals match, and I got here in 2014. This is a ground ball over to the right side. What a nice looking play from Charlize Callahan. Flashing the leather, showing off the arm, flexing the jersey.
Sporty's raw replay. She was right on it, wasn't she? Like a cat. She just charged the slow roller and was able to throw in the run. What a great play from the young star from Port Adelaide. Beautiful.
That was a good looking play.
Yeah.
Takes a lot of skill to be able to throw the ball off your feet like that. So
Yeah,
that was really good.
Just on Seacombe's finals appearances, I've got a sneaking suspicion that Radigan and those yellow pants made an appearance in a final series one year.
Yeah, back in my day, yes, Strapsy was definitely involved in the finals.
But 1 in 75 and 1 in 2013. Those yellow pants Tigers. What an era.
That was early days of the Spacequake sports board broadcasting. We're in our 9th year now, so you know it's close to a decade since a finals appearance for Seacombe. They had that year off as well.
Yeah, I mean, I could be wrong. I don't think I've called every finals series since I've been here. And I don't think I've called a Seacombe game unless it was just a game that I, was at something else.
Do you remember the year Morgan Lashley threw for Glenelg?
Yeah.
Jamie Mead was still here, so she
Yeah,
hadn't even
they
gone to
went
college.
all
She had
the
a
way.
long college career, right? I'm pretty sure they beat Seacombe in the first round of finals that year.
That's possible. That is very possible. That was the year that Glenelg went all the way to the big
final,
dance as well. Yeah, it was a good team. That team had, yeah, you're right, they must have, because they had some good players on that team. They had the Hoods. Jenny Dunn was on that team.
Jade Peterson.
They had some players. Jenny Dunn, she was a fun player to watch.
Just always managed to find bat on ball. She played back half of her career in sneakers as well.
Yeah, they must have made it one of the years. The point stays the same, though, that if we have to have a conversation like this to talk about when the last time you played finals was, I think the point resonates that it's been a while, and it would be nice if Seacombe could get in this year, and it would feel great for that club.
Oh, absolutely. There was a few years that they didn't have an A-grade team. So the fact that they've copped that now, and they're going up and up and up, and to now challenge finals is absolutely awesome.
Whitney Shepherd up to bat right now.
Magpies thinking bunt here. You've got Callahan fielding at the end of the bat. Maslin's a couple of steps in closer, but both pivots are deep.
Whitney Shepherd playing at Reinhardt University. He's an all-conference all-star. Schooling in Georgia. Swing and a miss. So Seacombe were last in a grand final, we're learning, in 2014. They lost to Sturt. When was the last time they were in the finals? That's our trivia question. Just message us. You know us if you're watching. Shepherd swings through a pitch, and Liz Angler fired up after that one, too. She's got a bit of intensity about her tonight, Liz Angler.
Third strikeout. 2 outs in this inning. Sporty's replay. Down and in. Cut her in half.
Yeah, good pitch there from Engler. I think Seacombe need to probably start thinking about changing to tact here and start going with the short ball. Get these runners around that they do get on.
They can grind this Seacombe team as long as they're in touch by a run or two. While Seacombe's offense hasn't been, much this season. They've only scored 53 runs. It's the 6th best number in the competition. Only Hills have scored less. When they do get some opportunities, they have been taking advantage. You can look at their 8-0 win over Hills. You can look at a big win over Glenelg earlier this year where they just seem to pile together some runs, take advantage of some errors.
Yeah, those numbers indicative of the team batting averages as well. Port Adelaide second in the league in averages, Walkerville third in the league in averages, Sturt and Glenelg fourth and fifth in the league in averages. You wouldn't have guessed it. Fourth place West Torrens lead the league in batting average.
That is a scary thought going into finals now that they've got Steph Trzynski back in the circle.
Well, undefeated since mid-December, only a draw in the game back after Christmas to Glenelg, their only blemish.
I think we all called it once we knew Steph was coming back. It was, look out, here comes West Torrens.
I mean, you read Robert Laidlaw's recaps every night after all the games, and the question sometimes is Engler delivers a pitch. This is grounded over towards the second base side, and that one on the side. But I was just going to wrap up and say, yeah, sometimes the question is no longer did someone beat West Torrens? It's did anybody get a hit off Steph Trzynski, it feels like right now. Well, that is the end of the second inning and is a 1-0 lead for Port Adelaide. The leadoff batter of the game, Jess Golden, got on. It was a triple, and that is how they scored the only run of the game.
Well, thanks to the Aqaba Hotel as well, whether it's a dining experience in the restaurant, catching the latest live action at Sporty's Bar, enjoying a comfortable and convenient stay in the accommodation rooms, or being entertained. Incredible live performances. You'll always be welcome at the Arc. What do we got? Producer Brandon?
Do you know where you're also welcome? The ASA presentation night 2, the sequel. Twice the size as last year's event, celebrating the performances of the Adelaide Softball Association for all grades. Contact your clubs for your club's details at this event. It is limited seating. It is $45 dues for softball members, $55 for non-softball members. Get a 2-course drop, cash drinks, some video, photo, music, and surprises in store. What does that mean? Only one way to find out. You're going to have to get your tickets. Talk to your club.
I don't
know. Someone's doing a lot of work when he should be sharing the load. I'm sure I'll get a call from Mr. Weatherstone in the coming days for the trophy order.
I know he's listening, so...
I know he's listening. He keeps messaging me, talking about how he beat Seacombe in the 2008-9 semi-finals in under an hour.
Yeah, I've had a couple of messages too. I do. That kind of backs up the point, though.
Job here, Anthony.
You know, Seacombe, they won it in '75. They won it in 2013, and then I've had a few messages of people telling me how they beat Seacombe in the final. So, confirmed they were there, but the last time, 2014, maybe.
Jenny Dunn confirmed that they played in 2 back-to-back grand finals. They won it in 2013, lost it in 2014, both against Sturt. That was the first of Sturt's 4 finals with Caitlin Tobin pitching the lefty.
What about the year Maslin?
Started a career at West Torrens, I think, moved over to Sturt, and now Caitlin, James, get
Mount
it right.
Gambier girl.
Is that right?
She is from Mount Gambier. Yeah.
She won a C-grade medal, I reckon, a couple of years ago.
She did.
What's her name now? Caitlin. Sorry, Caitlin, if you're watching.
Geldof puts this one into play. Let's see. Picks it up, fires it across. It wasn't in time. Geldof used her legs to get there. The throw a little bit soft. Probably didn't have her full balance on that throw, and it's a runner aboard.
Sporty's replay, she really poked at the ball and sort of guided it to the left side. It might have been a fumble in the end that cost Seacombe here. Let's have a look on the reverse angle. Nice play from Mutsi. Nah, she beat it out. That's a single to Geldof.
Good running.
Well, puts a base runner on for the woman who leads the competition in RBIs with 22. She's got a .535 average in Brie Marcelino, and Port Adelaide can try to add some damage.
Caitlin Burks.
That's it. Well done.
Well done, Anthony. Thanks a lot, mate.
Hey, on the theme of Seacombe all-time performances, what about the year that Jess Maslin won the CAF Coral Medal?
Oh, that second bounce died. Sorry, Eric.
No. Let's watch this Sporty's replay here. She had to stay with that Sasha at shortstop.
Marcelino's hit this pretty hard straight into the ground. The second bounce it dies, and Mutsi really good reactions there to field it at boot height. tosses it over to second base. Georgia Tonkinson there on the spot for the force out.
Now it's probably more appropriate. Remember Jess Maslin, she's been to 3 straight finals here with the Port Adelaide Magpies. Remember, the Magpies hadn't been to a grand final in ever. And that's not an expression. I meant ever. And Jess Maslin came over to the club when Seacombe didn't have an A-grade team. She stayed there. They have never not been in the grand final in the Maslin era. Won it on her first time here. But she had a pretty storied career over at Seacombe, Jess Maslin.
Makes sense. She lives about an hour closer to Port Adelaide than she does to Seacombe. But it's been a great fit for both Maslin and the club. And you know what? She's another one of those players that's caught. She's played first. She's played corners. She's gone to the outfield when required. But she's always been right there in the 4 spot for this team, hitting monster shots, just adding to that offensive pressure. Because if Marcelina doesn't score her, she's going to.
Big swing and a miss. There is the 23rd stolen base or 17th stolen base rather for Brie Marcelino, and she'll scamper all the way to third.
Don't get her mistaken with Jess Golden. Jess Golden's done the hard work and stolen 16.
Right. I'm wrong.
Marcelina's only got 7.
8th. You're right.
Yeah.
I'm mixing. I got it.
She's
I was
only
like
got
3
7.
strikes. I'm out.
It was actually a hit and run. If you see, Jess has actually tried to hit that ball. The ball was wide, and she poked, did what she could to try and hit it. But yeah, that was definitely a hit and run.
That's gutsy softball there, taken on the arm of Neely Peterson.
I think they attempted it once at Nationals. All the other interstate teams threw them out. Didn't have another stolen base against
That's
her.
how you do it. Absolutely.
Don't forget Maslin's best and fairest. She's won in this competition.
Kath Coral medalist. Yeah, they don't just hand them out.
And a swing and a miss is
Good pitch.
Diaz attacks her low, and it's another strikeout. That's her 3rd of the day, sorry.
Yeah, just a bit of off pace there, change up. Really good pitch there from Reagan.
Yeah, it's a big scalp, isn't it, to get Maslin. She's looking on the Sporties replay protecting, but you can't reach that outside
No,
edge. So
that's a good pitch.
It's a great pitch.
It's nice to see the variation in pace too.
Yeah, for the likes of Maslin and Kaysler, it's not a fielders or hitters award, is it, the Kath Coral medal? It's a pitchers award, generally pitchers that can hit.
Yes, yeah, it definitely is. But it's be interesting this year to see who will be the winner.
Charlize Callahan fouls it back.
Because Caudle's only done half the job, right? She's got the 170 strikeouts, but, she's had 3 plate appearances. So, that might cost her a little bit. But a lot of shutout wins is always going to pour votes her way.
Absolutely. But if you're batting over 500 and, 400 and 500, they're going to take votes away from each other as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see the polling.
Yeah, you're right. So Port Adelaide's top 3 hitters are going to take votes away from each other.
Absolutely.
And then Engler and Geldof sharing the load. They might not have someone in
Stand out.
contention because, they're fighting amongst themselves.
Absolutely.
And Walkerville have won 12 games this year as Diaz delivers the pitch to Callahan. That ball slips away in the same way that they scored their first run. They score their second. 2-0.
Well, they're, again, being ultra conservative with runners in scoring position on Callahan. Her batting average increases when she's got runners in scoring position. She's got good RBI numbers. I think she's got more RBIs than hits in the season. So that's a hitter that thrives when you've got a runner in scoring position.
When you've got Jess and Bree getting onto the field, onto the bases, so I can understand why her averages are going up in that situation.
And a swing and a miss on a pitch upstairs. So Diaz gets a couple of strikeouts, but another run on the board for Port Adelaide. And Seacombe have a little bit of work to do to try to claw their way back into this game for a team that doesn't score a whole lot of runs. They probably need to keep this margin at 2 to keep in striking distance.
You said they've only given up earlier in the game. They've only given up 7 runs since Christmas. Well, they've only scored 13 on 5 games, so they're scoring less than 3 a game. They're going to need at least 3 to win this one. With their wins, big win over the Heat. 8 of those 13 runs coming in one of those games. They're generally in the game 2-1, 4-1.
Yeah, they haven't scored more than 2 runs. They've only scored more than 2 runs in one game since Christmas.
And in those results since Christmas, they've dropped to West Torrens and Glenelg, who sit below them on the ladder, and they've beaten Port and Walkerville since Christmas, who sit above them.
I mean, this is a team that if those bats get a little bit hot in 1 week, that's all they need in finals. I mean, they're as good as a threat as anybody because you know they can pitch and play defense.
Well, what a night here at West Beach on Ghana land. It was a little bit breezy, threatened to get cold. I'm in the hoodie, you're in the T-shirt.
I am in the T-shirt. My softball South Australia T-shirt, got the Yarkaba Hotel on there. It was a Christmas present that I got, wrapped up in a beautiful box, a huge box, actually.
Thanks very much to the Yarkaba Hotel and MC Sportswear.
My favorite Christmas gift. Hannah Cameron. Yeah, Tompkinson, Cameron, and Pash, the 7, 8, 9 part of the lineup.
Speaking of tops, how good do the tops the girls are all wearing?
They look magic with the
Aren't
red
they?
on it, don't they? It's a natural colour for First Nations round, isn't it? The black and yellow of the Tigers, add the red. Looks
Stands
amazing.
out, doesn't it?
They look really good under the lights.
Yeah, it really pops. Yeah.
Michaela Pearson designing these First Nations jerseys that you see. Knocks one over towards the right side, and a nice play from Edwards. A great stretch from Maslin. And the runner is retired.
Yeah, nice play up the middle, backhand side for Edwards. She stayed with the ball and managed to get a throw off. Not an easy play to make.
Absolutely not. The backhand like that. Strong throw. And Jess, a good stretch there at first base.
Chatted with Michaela Pearson before the game, who designed these tops, and she's been a member of Seacombe for over a decade now, you'd think. And she, I said, these are wonderful. Are you an artist? What do you do? She said, oh, I'm not an artist. And I said, I think you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, incredible designs from someone that has a lot of it has a lot of meaning to her. It has a lot of meaning to the club. That's what the symbols on these jerseys signify.
Another look at the Seacombe uniform. We saw the umpires before, and we've been doing the Indigenous shirt since we were able to host a NAIDOC round in 2020.
Hot shot over to Maslin, and she makes the play.
Yeah, the club decided this year to make a point of having a First Nations top for this, especially for this round, and spent a lot of time and effort organising. I know Michaela and Anthony spent a lot of time at MC trying to get the print to set right on the tops for everybody. So fantastic effort from Michaela and the club.
Yeah, and she said she wanted the design to revolve around everybody coming together as one family, one community, and one person in the top. So there's a few elements in there that represent who Seacombe is as a club, but also as individual athletes. So there's a snake in there, which is a symbol of strength, creativity, and community. A kangaroo for strength, agility, and resilience. And each of them kind of swirl together to that center symbol that represents the family in a meeting place, which is, well, in this case, I guess the softball diamond. So everybody coming together at Seacombe for one family, one community, and one person. I love the thought that went into this from Michaela Pearson.
I was just mentioning how we started this in 2020 when COVID pushed NAIDOC week back into November, and Lenny Callahan, the Port Adelaide president, just jumped on the opportunity to host, turned it into their club round, and from then on we'd played an Indigenous round. This year the name change to First Nations round, and Port Adelaide ever since then made it their own, and they look amazing in their tops. There's a great look there, Liz Engler. But Port Adelaide have looked brilliant in their theme tops all year, haven't they? They've got to be the best dressed team in the comp.
Yeah. Having the blacks obviously helps everything pop. But yeah,
Goes
how
with
good do they
everything,
look?
right?
Yeah, it does.
You see the design that the Magpies have by Aitika Sanderson Bromley. She designed the tops and kind of represents all coming together near water. Flared out towards right field by Diaz, and that drops in the glove. And that is a 1-2-3 inning for Liz Engler and the Port Adelaide Magpies in their wonderful First Nations tops.
Sporties Bar replay they've only allowed one base runner tonight, and that was a walk to Becky Havis. Yeah, First Nations tops, Eric.
No, that was it. They're amazing. Yeah. As you know, you can rewind the stream and watch it.
Here's another look. I'll just mention it just quickly, but the staff at Softball SA during to bring NAIDOC round, which has then turned into Indigenous now First Nations round. Mandy Layden, who no longer works for Softball SA, Kelsey Nucky as well, both played a big part in the celebrations for that inaugural NAIDOC round, and again, Magpies, well done Port Adelaide for taking it on.
Well, a big thank you to everybody who has donated to help support these live stream broadcasts. That was pretty cool to see. I mean, that one, I popped on social media and saw there was a goal trying to raise some money to keep these things going, and then that goal quickly got smashed, and everybody just jumping on there. We're really close to that target. Jump on, donate now, give the big league atmosphere and a chance to raise the profile of this game through community support. It's been free for 10 years. If you know any sponsors that want to help keep these live streams going, of course, we're always open to chatting as well. I know Anthony Weatherstone, Kylie, yourself, you guys have done an amazing job running the bar to make sure that we can fund this as much as possible. We're all volunteers calling these games, all part of the community. It's all for the players. As a first pitch swing right over to Mutsi. Again, she's been busy, but a good hustle. Good legwork from Montana Edwards. It's a leadoff runner for the third inning.
Yes, Sasha seemed she fielded it cleanly, but I think she struggled to get the ball in her hand to throw it. There you go. Just bobbled the ball there. Made all the difference.
Yeah, not a bad shot from Edwards, and yeah, just that little spill out of the glove from Mutsi.
Well, Liz Engler had a single over towards right field. Zoe Thompson will stand on deck, and that's how they've scored their 3 runs, is by getting the 2 runs, by getting the leadoff runner aboard. It was Jess Golden in the first who had the triple, scored on what was it called, a wild pitch, I'm assuming. And then in the third inning, a leadoff runner and Kate Geldof got aboard. She was retired at first as this one dips foul. But on a fielder's choice, Brie Marcelino got on base. She stole second. Scampered her way to third on a bit of a bobble in the field, and despite 2 strikeouts in the inning, ends up being another run on another wild pitch, and that's where we're at right now. No RBIs, so to speak, so far in this 2-0 game. It's been good pitching from Regan Diaz and Liz Engler.
Sports Bar replay saw Engler's attempt to bunt it, and as it was out of reach from Peterson, she decided to leave it and roll foul, Kylie.
Yeah, she obviously could see the spin on the ball and knew it was going to come back across to the foul line. So that was really good, watching the ball there and knowing that was going to happen. So, yeah, well done to Nelly.
The little high five after, too.
Yeah, you don't want to risk that. That was pretty well placed bunt. The spin just took it over the line.
Seems like there's a pretty good genuine friendship between DS and Peterson as well.
Well, they're part of the crew that won a national championship earlier in the year, and you don't share massive moments like that and not take a friendship away from it. And then that pitcher-catcher relationship as well, Kylie. It's pretty special.
Absolutely, always is. You do so much work together at practice, and then your own practice as well together. So, yeah, it's a special bond.
Swing and a miss, goes downstairs. I think she missed her pitch as well, but gets the strikeout regardless. 5 strikeouts. Nice reaction from Diaz.
You'll take it.
Sporty's replay. Look at the reaction from Liz. Yeah. She was swearing as she was swinging there, because, like you said, she's perhaps missed a pitch, but not a bad battle there between pitcher on pitcher.
That old meme, mission failed successfully.
I said you take them anytime you can. They don't always work.
No, kept it down. Diaz has 5 strikeouts tonight. She's allowed a couple base hits, but 4 by my count, a couple of them infield as well. Jess Golden smashed a ball in the first pitch of the game, or one of the first pitches of the game, but she's been pretty good, Regan Diaz.
Yeah, Maslin hit a massive foul. Marcelino hit a line drive to right field. Golden hit a line drive to centre field. So there's been a couple of long balls hit, but only one of them landed.
Zoe Thompson walked in the second inning. Port Adelaide have had base runners in every inning so far. Didn't go.
Battle looked a little guilty, didn't she, Thompson?
Yeah, she was.
3 or 4 steps down the line, but no swing. No swing.
Fair enough to ask the question. Oh, yes, definitely ask the question.
Peterson was right there saying ask. Thompson literally grazes the ball to stay alive.
Very hard for umpire Nikki Wong, who's all the way over at second base, to see whether she had actually swung that one. So
swing and a miss. So she gets it done. 6th strikeout of the day for Regan Diaz. The last 4 outs she's accounted for have been by the punch out.
Definite swing on that one. And yeah, I was going to say that 2 in a row, 4 of the last 5 batters.
The one batter she didn't strike out in that succession of 5 is standing at first base. This popped straight up from Jess Neves.
and that one really probably should have been an out as well, with Sasha just bubbling that ball.
Important out here. Jess Golden stands on deck. She's hit 2 balls very hard today. One on a line out to center and one on the triple and later scored. And if Neves does get on, it means there's probably a runner in scoring position for Jess Golden.
Will be, if she gets on.
Unless there's a home run from Jess Neves.
You got me. Yeah. And a single that scores a runner from third. There's a couple of different scenarios.
Not likely scenarios. Splash towards the right side, although that would have been a ball that would have been dangerous.
Hit into dead man's alley. He's going to score a runner from first any day. But she would have been in scoring position as well.
She would have.
Just out of reach for Havas. Have a go, though. Maybe just a little bit out of reach. Two out. Have a go.
Neves has always been pretty good at putting the ball in a few different parts of the field. Fouled away. Yeah, 2 runs still feels gettable, but 3 runs with this way the bats have been going for Seacombe feels like an almighty challenge. And a swing and a miss. She strikes out the side.
On a change-up, Kylie.
Yeah, nice pitch on the outside edge there. That's where you might want to throw them.
7 strikeouts for Diaz. There's the change-up. She's happy too. Just the 1 base runner, and out of the last 6 batters, 5 of them strikeouts. But Port Adelaide have runners on base every inning so far. They have been threatening. Turn the page over to Seacombe. They've only had the 1 base runner.
And no hits. It was a walk. Yeah, it's been a relentless effort. So on one hand, if you're Seacombe, you're probably looking at this and saying, hey, we're fine. You know, only up 2 runs. We've kind of held, been under a bit of pressure. Haven't capitulated. This game could have got away, and probably a Seacombe Tigers of past years would have been down by a few runs right now. But have covered their tracks okay, and the 2 runs they've allowed have been pass balls.
It's a 2-0 game here. It's a 2-0 game over on Diamond 2 here. Round 19 of First Nations round. Glenelg Rebels scored in the 6th. They left a couple of runners on base as well. Gemma Sharkey with the RBI on that occasion. Emily Price got the first RBI of the game. 2-0 in favour of the Rebels. It's the bottom of the 6th, and time would be ticking away. So last chance for Sturt. They've got runners on 2 and 3 with 2 out.
So how does that affect the finals?
We'll discuss that on the result.
All right.
And those 2 teams, oh my goodness. I mean, I know they're tiebreakers, which is runs against. It's razor thin right now. Entering the game, Glenelg had allowed 88 runs, but had played 2 less games. And Sturt had allowed 91 runs. That obviously on the live ladder is now Sturt 93, Glenelg 88, but 2 games in hand for Glenelg, and they had scored the exact same number of runs.
Oh, wow.
Yep, 66 runs apiece, scored 4. Yeah, live ladder gets confusing. The 3rd out was made, and Glenelg Rebels win that one 2-0.
Well, this does give us some clarity, though, because now Glenelg moved to 15 points. So the standings don't change, but Glenelg are now 2 points behind Sturt with the game in hand. What this does do, though, is this is grounded over towards first base, scooped by Maslin, and they're down. So everybody, you got to follow me. Get your finals math
Get your
ready
calculators ready.
So Seacombe right now are in 3rd place. They have 22 points. It is 2 points for a win. Sturt have 21 games played, 17 points. Their maximum points that Sturt could get.
They've still got 3 games to go after tonight.
Is 23.
Yep.
So if Seacombe win tonight, Sturt cannot catch Seacombe. If Seacombe beats Sturt on Saturday, Sturt cannot catch Seacombe.
Well, guess what, Eric? With 3 games to go, Sturt still have to play Seacombe twice.
So they're still gettable. So Sturt can win. If they win those 2 games in hand, they put some pressure on Seacombe.
Their other game is West Torrens, so they've got to play 2 genuine finals contenders in their last 3 games, 2 of them Seacombe. So they're the 2 teams they're trying to catch.
They'll need some help, and that is handy. Glenelg, meanwhile, they moved to 15 points. Their maximum points are 25 right now, so they could theoretically finish as high as 2nd. Realistically, they're not going to make up that run differential with Walkerville. Knocked towards short, climbing the ladder. Brie Marcelino keeps the no-hit bit alive, and that's a great grab.
It helps when you're plus 6 foot as well.
I was going to say.
Did she hit that twice as well? Have a look at the Sporties replay. I don't know how good your angle there, producer Brandon. Nice catch. Let's have a look for the double hit. You reckon? Inside of the handle and outside of the bat of the barrel. Great catch. Whatever way you look at it, Marcelino climbing the ladder.
What this does do, though, with the finals is it creates our first magic number for Seacombe. That's just a clear-cut way. And the magic number is 2. Now, magic numbers in baseball, softball, sports, whatever you want to look at, it really is just a combination of wins and losses between 2 teams. So Seacombe's magic number is 2, meaning to make the finals, they will need 1 win and 1 Glenelg loss.
Glenelg could max out at 25 points. They've still got 5 games to play after tonight. They play Walkerville twice, Seacombe once, Magpies and Eagles. The remaining games are against final sides.
They have to win out. Swing and a miss. And it is another 1-2-3 inning from Liz Engler, who is humming along. Hasn't allowed a hit, has only allowed the 1 base runner through 4 innings so far.
Another good pitch here from Liz on the outside edge. Both pitchers are hitting that outside edge really well tonight.
4 strikeouts.
Yeah.
But you'll take that when you've had 3 out of 4 1-2-3 innings, and the lone base runner has been a base on balls.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, softball fans, if you are passionate about softball, passionate about community, passionate about leadership, The softball board is assembling a dynamic sports executive committee to run and shape the future of the Adelaide Softball Association and drive exciting opportunities for players and teams. There's no new experience required, but there's certainly a love of softball and community that is required. There are roles for president, secretary, treasurer, marketing, events, rules, and it can be filled by you, people that want to make a difference in the softball community. You can see the email address on screen. The applications...
it says closed 31st of January, but they're still taking some inquiries before they change over committees. But, you know, just having said that, I mean, you look at the lean way of thinking. It's always trying to improve, right? And that's what this is all about. If you've had something to say about softball and you want to say something about softball, want to influence its future, now's the time to put your hand up. Don't just stand back in the shadows. Come out and put your money where your mouth is. We need good people, and we know we've got good people within our community.
Absolutely, you can see it with the GoFundMe page. All those people that contributed, very much appreciated. So we have the community. Stand up. Let's change. Let's help make it softball even better.
Chat on that changer. Sorry.
Jess Golden to right field. It's her second hit of the day. And yeah, how many times have how many conversations have existed on the way back or after a day of playing softball on a Saturday where you're maybe having some dinner or a drink with some mates and you said, it would be good if we did this or that, or if they did this, if they did that. Well, you can become the they and all the good-natured conversations. Everybody's had them.
Absolutely. And don't forget, this is all about the Adelaide competition, the Adelaide Association. It's not Softball SA. This is a subcommittee that we're looking to take into the future, perhaps become own entity as well, because believe it or not, back in the days of SASA, the South Australian Softball Association, it was the Adelaide competition back then. And so, to stop any confusion, it had a governance review in 2008-9, and I think it was the intent back then for this competition to become its own entity, but currently sits as a subcommittee of the board. So looking to shape the future, looking to take this competition into the future, a rich 82-year history, and we want you, basically. Golden just looking menacing on first. Her lead-off is halfway down the line.
Yeah, she's the one that has 16 stolen bases. The team has 27 as a total. 28 now after tonight.
Oh, she's off.
There she goes. Does she have the wheel? She slides in.
Yeah.
It was actually a pretty good throw, but that is how quick Jess Golden is. There's the shrug. Right to the camera, Jess Golden.
Yeah, let's have a look at the Sporties replay. She got a great jump, didn't she?
I think it was actually a walk. So
very close as well. Let's have a look at the Peterson throw over low low to the ground. They're always a hard throw to get across as a catcher. You don't want to be throwing the ball across when it's down and in. They're the hardest ones to throw across.
So that brings up 17 stolen bases for Jess Golden now.
And in all of that, I missed what happened to
I think it was actually a walk. Yeah, I think it was actually a walk.
So it's not a stolen base.
So it's not really a stolen base, but...
So she's back to a lowly number of 16.
That's why she shrugged to the camera.
Yeah. Sorry, Jess.
I was getting all excited.
You're
over
stuck
nothing,
on 16.
Getting smacked in the ribs by that menace, Scott Radigan.
I would wager that she'll get that 17th stolen base before the season ends.
It's a hell of a pitch from Diaz to go upstairs on Marcelino.
Key moment in the game now with chasing 2 runs. The time going to become an issue shortly. Number 3 and 4 batters up and runners on first and second with nobody out. Marcelino, the competition's RBI leader. Jess Maslin not far behind. She's got 20 RBIs to Marcelino's 22. There's 42 runs driven in between the pair of these players on Port.
None out, 2 on, and the 2 biggest RBI hitters in the game.
Pressure's definitely on.
throw down the line, and they got the stolen base leader. And out on the board, but what a throw from Neely Peterson and take from Whitney Shepherd.
Geldof gets to second. Let's have a look at the Sporties replay. It was the perfect pitch for Peterson to throw over inside. She's already up and into a throwing position. Everything went right for Peterson on that occasion, and unfortunate for Geldof there. It didn't go right for her. She's... I always am critical when commentators say unfortunately. But here I'm backing her to get that stolen base. Well done to the catcher on this occasion.
But as you said, it started with the really good pitch. So it was inside, which allowed Neely to be able to get up quickly and throw the ball. She actually hesitated and still got the out. Well taken by Whitney there at third base as well.
Pretty good diving attempt, though, from Jess Golden. She almost slipped in there. Now Marcelino still with the runner in scoring position, but there is one on the board and a full count. 7 strikeouts on the day for Diaz. She might need another one here. Oh, she just missed. Again, you saw the fist pump from Peterson.
That full count pitch, she's done it now quite a couple of times now, has been very close. Yeah, just inside the plate there.
Back-to-back walks, and now on that stolen base attempt, they would add loaded bases for Maslin. Just on the stats, Golden has been caught stealing once before this season, so make that
twice. Oh, great.
That's a huge success rate, though. 16
of 18.
Yeah, 16 of 18 now.
It is insane. Well, the middle of the lineup here, and Marcelino, Maslin, and Callahan have combined. This is a bunt down the line, and what a good one it is. The bases are loaded. I was about to say that Maslin, Marcelino, and Callahan, who comes up to bat now, they have combined for 54 runs batted in this season. Seacombe on the season, they've scored 53.
What a great bunt there from Jess. Bounced out and then came back into the diamond. Becky Havers had no one there to throw.
Well, unexpected, if you ask me,
yes.
To see a walk and then a bunt. It does load the bases, and I mentioned it before. As we take another look on the Sporties replay, Becky Havers had nowhere to go. I mentioned it a little earlier. Callahan's numbers increase when there's runners in scoring position. So also not the batter. She's got 7 hits with runners in scoring position on the season, out of 9 hits that she's got for the season as well.
She's got 12 RBIs on 9 hits. It's insane. She's productive. She comes up when it counts, and this moment could count because game started at what time?
8 o'clock.
It is no new innings after 85 minutes.
So
we have
12 minutes to go.
73, yeah. So.
And it's the top of the inning as well, and Seacombe need to start manufacturing runs, let alone base runners, and time is not their friend.
Charlize Callahan is a name for herself of being clutch. You think back to that grand final that the Magpies won. She was the player of the game in that grand final and had that clutch hit.
Smoked it to the fence.
She was in the batter's box when Port Adelaide scored their second run in the 3rd inning on a wild pitch. Hits one hard up the middle, but a great pick. There's one. Can they get 2? Double play! The Tigers dodge, duck, dive, and dodge their way out of a bases-loaded jam. They pick off a runner, and then they get a double play, and they stay in touch.
Unreal play, Sporties replay. Let's have a look at the 6-2-3 double play. The infield's inside the line. On a second bounce, Mutsi gets into a great position, throws it over to Peterson and fires it down the line. She was practicing that in the 5-minute warm-up before the game. She was getting into great position, Peterson. Watch her set up here. If the camera stays on, follows the ball. So great play there. You'll see the transition. Takes it way out in front with that long reach, the leg back on the plate. Into transition and fires it across.
It was just textbook all the way through. Probably hit it too well, to be honest. Straight there to Sasha at shortstop. Great, good throw there. Easy there for Neely to be able to pivot those legs and get that throw off to first base. You practice that a lot, so it was really good to see it come off.
Well, Peterson might be the player of the inning there with the throw out of Jess Golden, and then turn that double play to get him out of a jam.
Yeah, we talked at the top of the broadcast about the influence of Neely Peterson and what she's had on this team, not just catching or pitching wise, but defensively, and that was a getaway moment for the Port Adelaide Magpies. A base hit there. All of a sudden, they blow this game open. And keep in mind, the 3 outs that they retired all came with the middle of the lineup and a team or players that have combined for 54 RBIs on the season. Impressive stuff. But if they want to win this game, they're going to have to find a way to get a hit. We've played 4 innings, and Liz Engler has allowed 1 base runner. It's been a walk. It was back in the 2nd inning, and everything's been 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. This is the innings they need to do it. We've got Becky Havas up there at the plate right now. If she can get on, it gives Bill an opportunity to get her around and get going.
Got 5 batters before it turns over to Regan Diaz, who is hitting .408 on the year. The pathway is there for a moment for Diaz to potentially win it for Seacombe. But they're going to need a couple base runners.
Yep.
Havis fouls one away. A game that sort of felt like Port Adelaide have had makings of a blowout, to be honest. They've had base runners every inning. They've had bases loaded. They've had hits. They've scored runs. They haven't allowed a hit.
10 base runners
to 1.
Wow.
And it's a 2-0 game. Indicative of the Tigers' season, though. They have just hung around. Now can they strike?
Just takes a couple of batters, string a couple of hits together, create some pressure.
Engler has struck out 3 batters and hasn't struck out 1 since the 2nd. But she's got a lot of ground balls, and she gets a strikeout there.
That was a great pitch there, outside edge.
Sorry, she struck out a batter to end the 4th. That's her 2nd strikeout in a row. But before that, it was back in the 2nd.
On the Sporties Bar replay, catch the outside edge on a change of pace. 24 screens, booth seating, digital dart, shuffleboard. They've got non-stop live sport, and there's always something to watch on the big screens. Sporties is the place to be this summer.
Whitney Shepherd up to bat. What have you liked about Liz Engler today, Kylie Weatherson?
Oh, just the control, the command she has on her pitches. She's thrown some varieties of pace and different types of pitches, but they've both pitchers have been hitting that outside edge so well and receiving the reward of getting strikeouts. But yeah, Liz is hitting that outside edge very, very well tonight.
A lot of ground balls from Engler today. Not a lot hit hard. There was the first batter of the game, Regan Diaz. She drove a ball hard to left field, but it was right to the glove of Thompson. And
Diaz put one out to the right side, caught by Neves. But that's what I see. A strength of Engler is that if she's getting the outside corner called, she's going to live there all night. We've seen a couple of inside pitches that have got to the batter, but they're on batters that have been looking for that outside pitch, looking to drive it opposite field. I think that's the difference between the better sides in this competition as well. The batters have the ability to identify an outside pitch and drive it opposite field.
second base runner of the day, and the first since one out in the 2nd inning. Whitney Shepherd with the walk, and now the game, well, we still might get another inning in here. Well, depends on how Georgia Tompkinson and Hannah Cameron do. If one of them goes down quick, then we're probably getting another inning.
Almost a professional timeout there from Golden. She's called the entire field in for a chat.
It's slowing things down.
I think she's telling them that be awake for anything here.
Well, this would show some great coaching from Bill Benedictson if he can get his team out of this. This is now turning into first pitch swinging as well, to give yourself that opportunity to make sure that there's another inning if he gets another out here soon. So everything on this batter right now, Tom Goodson, to get on base, continue the inning. If there's another out, he might look maybe sending a runner or even putting a short game in so the top of the order can try and get the job done.
Yeah, the middle is worst case scenario for Seacombe. You either need to go down quick or you need a long scoring inning and winning. And that ball knocks to the left side through the glove of Callahan. And all of a sudden, the tying run for the Tigers is on base.
Well, now it's going to be slowing it down and making sure it's this inning. 1 out, 2 runs on board. You got your 8 and 9 hitter up to bat. Both of them have got bat on ball in this game. Nice shot on the Sporties replay to the left side.
Well, it's Hannah Cameron and Bianca Pash due up. 1 out on the board, like you said, James. If just one of those batters can get on base and nothing funky happens on the base paths, Regan Diaz will come up to bat with a chance to win it. That's the pathway to victory right now for the Seacombe Tigers.
Just got to stay in control. Don't let the nerves get to you.
Double play here. We'll see another innings get played.
Cameron takes a good cut. Was that scored a hit in that last one, or was it a...
Was it pretty hard?
It was a hit,
I'm
yeah.
Suggest a hit.
I wrote down
Yeah.
hit, but I got a nod from Jill Williams in the Jill Williams Pavilion. So the no-hit attempt is foiled in the 5th.
Marcy Trzynski colouring in the circles with Jill Williams tonight.
Yeah, that ball was... Yeah, it was hit hard. Yeah, if Callahan had made that play, we would be singing her praises right now.
Once attempt to get those 2 runners into scoring position.
3 minutes until no new innings.
On our clock.
On our clock.
Not necessarily the umpires.
Just missed. And yeah, as a pitcher, when you've been in control all game, you have a couple base runners. She hasn't been under pressure at all this game. Is that hard when you're a bit tired later in the game, Kylie? Your mindset, does your mind wander at all?
It definitely can. But you've got to realise that you've done all the work.
Oh, a strikeout will help.
Absolutely. You've done the work and you've got to rely on it. So you've got to keep doing what you're doing. Don't change anything because it's been working this long. Trust your back. Your team's got you in the field.
Pressure on Bianca Pash right now. She's had 1 hit on the season. Doubling her tally would put the winning run on base with Regan Diaz, a player who's hitting .408 with 8 extra base hits in the batter's box. This.
And 3rd time up as well. 3rd time seeing the picture for the game. She's taken 2 low pitches, Bianca Pash, so can afford to watch a couple here. You'd think that Coach Lucas calling a timeout to have a chat to his pitcher, and you know the message is going to be attack this batter because we don't want to go around to the top of the order.
Exactly right.
Well, Damian McCauley checking his watch. Yeah, this could be it.
England's a 65% strike pitcher. Bianca Pash, if she's ever played the numbers before tonight's the night, she needs 2 balls out of the next 5 pitches to reach safely. She might be getting told right now, don't take the bat off your shoulder.
Be very patient. That's just right. She's got to throw another 3 good pitches now for strikeout. All the pressure's now on Engler.
And that timeout is all but guaranteed that this is the final inning.
Well, the pathway keeps getting clearer.
Unless there's a doubt this pitch.
Here we go. Bianca Pash. It's a 2-0 count versus Liz Engler. A walk and a single have put the tying run aboard. Pash, the 9-hole hitter, puts the ball in play. Grounded to second. They make the out. They'll look at the umpire. That's the ball game. Seacombe hang around in a game they were out hit. They had a chance to win it late, but Liz Engler continues her fine form, and Port Adelaide continue their presence at the top. Tonight, 2-0 winners, both off wild pitches. But Liz Engler, the story here, she was excellent again, is the key word.
Who's doing Sporties tonight? Sporties player of the game. Liz Engler, 1 hit, 2 walks. She's got to hit herself in the game. Jess Golden, 2 hits, including the triple to lead off the game. She scored the first run. That's all they needed in a 2-0 win.
Well, it's a game where there was no RBIs from the winning team at all. So to do that, your pitcher had to be phenomenal, and Liz Engler was the winner. We don't actually have a Sparms card,
okay,
but we do have a voucher to give later. Let's go talk to. Shall I go out and talk to Liz Engler? I'll go talk to Liz Engler.
All yours, Eric. Kylie, 2-0 ball game. What does that mean in terms of the finals? Well, with a Port win, you've got to say they've solidified their premiership favourite status. But with Seacombe losing tonight, it's not all lost. They've got 11 wins with 5 games still to go after tonight.
So it's not all yet. As you said, still got a lot more softball to play before the finals. So the destiny's still in their hands at the moment.
Over to, we'll go over to Eric Bollner in just a moment, just waiting on producer Brandon. Port Adelaide still got 4 games to play after tonight. Hills Heat, Walkerville Cats, Glenelg Rebels. They play the Heat twice. So they're looking good to hold on to a top 2 finish. And as for Seacombe, they've still got 5 games to go, Heat twice, Rebels and Falcons. So you'd have to say that they're a good chance to come home with a wet sail. Over to Eric Bollner with your Sparms player of the game.
I'm down here with Liz Engler. Liz, a phenomenal game. Look at that. You're getting almost as good as a Gatorade bath here. Team getting around Liz Engler, our player of the game. Liz, you have more hats on your head than hits and base runners that you gave up today. How did you feel out there in the circle?
I felt really good. I had my team behind me, and as you could tell, I have a really awesome team. So I think that's just what helped me today and made me feel really confident.
What pitch was working for you today?
Oh, my curveball, which is not normal. So I was really happy with my curveball today.
Late in the game, there wasn't a lot of pressure, to be honest, on the base pass until late when it really came down to the final one. Regan Diaz standing on deck, 2 base runners on. What was going through your mind late in the game?
Oh, I needed to hold them. I needed to get ahead, and I just needed to trust my defense. And I did the whole game, and I think that's what really helped us today.
Your game really seems to have stepped up, especially since Christmas. The whole team has a lot, too. Has there been a switch for you, do you think? Have you noticed something as well?
I think it's just more like confidence, leadership role, I think has been kind of switched. I think we have such a strong, we have strong leaders, and I think that a few of us just really combine together, and I think it really piggyback each other. Yeah.
Well, you don't lose too many games when you allow 0 runs, and Liz Engler, another shutout, dominant again as Port Adelaide continue to the top. Back to you, Kylie and James.
You know what I love, Kylie, about our Sparms player of the game, Liz Engler? She had the biggest smile on her face. She loves her softball, and it shows out on the field as well. She's got to be one of the best characters in the game. Liz Engler, 1 hit, 2 walks, shutout.
Yeah, very happy with that. And as she said, she knew she had her team behind her the whole time there, and she obviously loves her team, which is fantastic to see.
Now, Eric Bollner's 6'2", and Engler was towering over her. No, that's I'm kidding. Eric was standing on a box. But love the way that she knew that she had the team behind her as well. Very ably assisted by Jess Golden, who should feel a little unlucky that she wasn't in the conversation. She had to do all the hard work, catching behind the plate, calling the game. Couple of hits herself and a run scored. There's your top 2 players in the game, dominant performers in this Premier League. It's First Nations round. It continues this weekend. Cats play the Rebels, Tigers play Sturt, and right here on Spacequake Sports, the Hills Heat play the Port Adelaide Magpies. It'll be top v bottom, but we will be celebrating in First Nations round.
Yeah, and in Port Adelaide, with a couple results that go their way, it is possible they could almost lock up that top 2 spot, which gives them the double chance. They're in really good position now at 14-6, but those are the kind of games that you just saw tonight that you're going to have to win in finals. They're not going to be easy. You're going to need good pitching. You're going to need big defensive plays. I think both teams would have had some finals lessons tonight.
Absolutely, and you could see in that last innings by Seacombe, loaded bases, one person away from Reagan Diaz coming up to the plate. So as much as the score, close. In a 2-0 game, anything could have happened then, so that shows Seacombe that they can do it. They got to keep going and control their own destiny. So see what happens.
Well, I thoroughly enjoyed tonight. I'm going to be taking a minor break. Might be a couple of weeks, but you'll see me come the pointy end of the season, and I can't wait to see how the game pans out over and the season pans out over the next couple of weeks.
You're stuck with me on Saturday and for most of the calls until finals, I think. So I'm lucky for everybody else.
You signing off? Am I signing off?
Yeah, you go for it.
Well, it's the Port Adelaide Magpies running out winners against the Seacombe Tigers tonight. 2-0 as we start First Nations round. Good night. Stay golden.